guys, how you doing? It's Henry at Mowers and Blowers. Good morning. It's about 11 o'clock. Another hot day. I mean, it's like nonstop, you know. Probably 9 to 1 on rainy days opposed to, you know, sunny days. And lawns have just been suffering over here. You know, we've had some rain recently, but just not enough. If you didn't have sprinklers, you'd have a yellow lawn for sure. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys, for voting yesterday on yesterday's episode of what color should I paint my Franken Tractor 2. Pretty good response. Since last night, it's now 11, I've had about 650 or so, 675 views since the upload last night. Out of that, about 100 or so comments, you know. So here are the results. It's very interesting. However, I almost feel like when I gave in my opinion of white, right? A lot of people voted for white. I'm not sure that if I even mentioned the word white, would anybody vote for white at all, you know? And then, of course, doing some more research, right? White Outdoors actually makes a white lawn tractor. So I have actually seen it, you know? Anyway, so here's the votes from last night until today. I'm going to go from the lowest to the highest, all right? So I had Dan Charbonneau from Nova Scotia say, you know, I've seen them paint a tractor a cow color. That really would be interesting. Can you imagine a white tractor with brown spots, you know? And then maybe put some horns over here. Or is that a bull? Whatever. That would be kind of cool, actually. You know, maybe I could cut like some, not velvet, but, you know, felt or something, brown patches, and stick them on here so that it actually feels like a cow. No, I'm not going to do that. All right, so I had 1 for silver, 6 votes for blue, whether it navy blue, royal blue, whatever. But as you guys remember from previous episodes, I painted my Blue Bayou blue, you know. That's cobalt blue. It's very nice. Still haven't used that damn thing because it has a snow plow and we haven't had any snow. Couple of votes on the USA theme. Red, white, and blue, a flag one, you know. It would take me like a week to do a flag. I mean, the stars and stuff, come on. 3 votes for camouflage. If you guys recall from maybe a year ago, I actually had a United States Marine Corps camouflage-themed LT4000 with a matching trailer. The link is in the comments from the guys who said camo. So I already had that. I already had the blue. 4 votes on orange. I mean, I've had like 3 or 4 Husqvarnas, you know. 3 for green. So, seriously, there was 2 people who actually said, hey, why don't you paint it the original stock colors of the LT1000 green or hunter green? I'm like, there's like 75 million of these LT1000s, and I've had about 24 of them, you know what I mean? Of which all 24 were green, you know? What's anything special about that? It's just another green. It doesn't even have a deck, so you're going to have the stock LT1000? So what? Oh, another green one. No, I'm not painting it the original green again. There's a million of them out there. Gray, they actually make gray LT1000s. I've had a few of them too, you know. 5 for purple. I mean, purple is a cool color and stuff, but you only got 5 votes. Red. You also know that my last 2 LT1000 projects were red, you know. Beautiful. The sunrise red is no doubt beautiful. But I figured we'd switch it up a bit, you know. Not going to have 3 red tractors, you know. Although they did sell pretty fast. Yeller. That's right. I'm Asian. And I'm quote-unquote yeller. Oh, by the way, speaking about that. I'm wearing my Washington Redskin shorts. Because they're doing away with the name Redskins. I can understand coming from a minority, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like saying, oh, let's go watch the Yellow Men versus the Giants. You know what I mean? So If you guys are white, you wouldn't understand. But if you were any other color other than white living in America, you'd understand. There's a little bit of a stigma where, you know, some people say something and it hurts your feelings because they feel like, oh, you're different from somebody else. You guys have been watching my channel for a couple of years now, and you'll know that I was born in Oklahoma. I'm as American as any of you guys. You know what I mean? My parents were immigrants, but listen, if you think about where your parents or grandparents or great-grandparents came from, they were immigrants too, you know? You've just been here a little longer than I have is all, you know? But it could hurt people's feelings if you talk about anything different than them being a human being, you know? But I hope they don't get rid of the Indian. But then again, I'm not Native American, so I can't really understand what hurts my feelings and what doesn't. I personally love the Indian head, and it almost plays homage to the Native Americans that were here first, you know? We took their land. It's not the other way around. So if anything, you should remember where we all came from and where this land is from, you know? So, I mean, I can understand the word Redskins can be offensive, you know? What are you going to call it? The Washington Senators or Bullets or something like crazy like that, you know what I mean? But, so, don't get me wrong, I'm not a Redskins fan. It's just that I got these shorts because I'm a Cowboy fan. Cowboys and Indians, you know? So that's always been a thing, and I just wore this as a prank one time. So, that's that. Yeller. I'm Yeller. So we had 6 votes for yellow. That's not bad. But honestly, if it's a yellow tractor, what is it? It's a Cub Cadet. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of Cub Cadets out there, you know? So my suggestion, white. And like again, if I didn't mention the word white yesterday's video, I don't know if any of you guys would say white, you know? So I almost feel like when I say something, it influences you. It gives you the idea, right? And the winner of the poll was white. We had 8 votes for black, okay? Now, picture this for just a second, fellas. If it was a black tractor, right, with red wheels, the Sunrise red rims, with white walls, just think about that for a second. Badass, right? Or if it was all white with red rims and white walls. But I think the black contrast would be better with the red, you know? So, white with red wheels and white walls, black with red rims and white walls. The winner is white, so I guess I'm going to have to, you know, go by that. You know, I promised you I was going to paint it whatever the votes were. But let's extend this voting period for one more day. Why? Because like I said, I brought out the idea of white, which allowed most people to vote for white because it's in your head. You're thinking about it, right? So here's something for you to ponder. What about burgundy? You know, there are nice cars out there painted burgundy. How about this one? Going along the theme of the camouflage, right? What about desert sand? You know, like the Humvees from Desert Storm, the war, right? Think about that. Because of the big rims and the big wheels on here, think about this matted sand with maybe the star, a black, you know, flag with the stripes and the star, right? A U.S. flag there. Just think about that for picture a Humvee sand color. Picture that. Tractor looking like that. That'd be kind of cool? That'd be kind of cool. There are some other colors too, but look, let me brew on that. Let you guys brew on that for one more day. Keep voting and stuff, but you guys don't have to vote again if you don't want to, but let me know what you think. White's the winner, so this is going to be white. Unless, tonight until tomorrow, you guys say, oh yeah, the Humvee sand color is a great idea. Or we'll do let's just do three more finalists, okay? So let's do the desert sand Humvee colors, or the white, which won the poll, with red rims and white walls, or black. It's pretty close, 8 and 15, you know what I mean? Black came in 8, white came 15. Somewhat close, but if you think about it, I'm giving you that visual aid of a black tractor with red rims and white walls. Just look at the contrast. Just think about that for a bit. And then vote again, all right? Today, a lot of you guys commented that the front wheels were wider than the back wheels. Agreed. I've got some same width wheels from the back that I pumped up overnight. Let's see if they hold air for today. If not, I'm going to put ATF in it, right? So we're going to switch out those back wheels with the fatter wheels to match the width of the fronts so it wouldn't look crazy because the front is just way wider than the back, you know. Also, it has no brakes. So while I have that wheel off, I'm going to check out the calipers. Maybe I can do a brake adjustment, or I might have to take the whole caliper off and unseize the pistons that are in the caliper. Also wanted to show you guys another thing. During our drought, where we haven't had much rain, look at my front lawn now. My front lawn was all mud just a couple of months ago. The beginning of my outro showed what this lawn looked like just a few months ago, okay? It was all mud here, right? So as you know, I dethatched. Well, I plug aerated twice, which caused all the mud to be on top because it takes plugs of soil from the bottom and puts it on top, right? My problem was I didn't reseed at that time. You're supposed to put seed down and then plug aerate so that all the dirt is covering your seed, right? And then it grows new grass. I didn't do that, so that's why it was all mud for a while. So I dethatched, I put new seed down, I put the Kentucky Tall Fescue 31 on there, and it grew pretty well, you know what I mean? Then I tried the Milorganite. I didn't do any fertilizer for the past 2 years for my yard because of my dog. My dog lets it eat grass. I don't want the chemicals in him, you know what I mean? So Milorganite was the organic alternative to fertilizer, right? Honestly, I bought 2 bags of that Milorganite. I thought it sucked. People argue that the Milorganite is just supposed to make it green. It doesn't really do a whole lot else for your lawn, right? But it doesn't make it healthy or anything. It just makes it green. Mine, nothing. Maybe healthy more than the green because it really wasn't green at all. Until I went to Walmart and bought a big bag of expert fertilizer. It was a 10-0-10, or was it a 0-10-0? PNK, whatever, the phosphorus, nitrogen, something else, I forget. Anyway, that's made my lawn much greener. So it's that expert fertilizer that really works well, along with the Kentucky Tall Fescue 31. So, got to change out of my better clothes into dirty clothes. You guys should do that. Have a whole set of dirty clothes that you use just for wrenching, Anyway, so here. I was mistaken. This is 18 by 9.5 by 8. The back is 20 by 6 by 8, or 8 by 8. So that's an inch and a half more narrow. These are an inch and a half wider. And of course, the front axle is going to be longer than the rear anyway. So these were the rims I got from my shed yesterday. I pumped it up with air, and overnight, held air without ATF. It's pretty good. This is identical to this, same exact size, 18 by 9.5 by 8. And I have 2 of these. So I'm going to replace the 2 rear wheels with these. It goes with this other side here. As you can see the difference in width. I guess these are 20s because they're a little bit higher. Maybe, is it an inch higher, 2 inches? It's possible, but it is wider, Hey, how about if I put 4 wheels in the back?
Okay, as you guys saw, I took the left wheel off, swapped it with the good one. Took the right wheel off, and while I had that wheel off, I took off the caliper. I was lucky that I sprayed some penetrating oil from my friends over at Lucas Oil Products, and loosened up those two bolts that were holding the caliper on. When I put that other wheel on, I used some red and tacky spray grease from my friends over at Lucas Oil Products. I just put it along that little groove where you put the key into the keyway, and then smeared a little bit around the axle so that the wheel comes off easily next time, if there is a next time. I'm sure there will be a next time. So then I was able to get the caliper off. I remembered that which way you took everything off, the washer, the spring, the brake lever thingamajig, the little pin that you take off the rod, right, where it engages. You guys saw all that. I was lucky enough to take I put it in my vise that I got from Nate Wagner over in St. James, Minnesota. And I put it in that vise, see, and I had a hole punch, and I was just tapping the pistons to come out, and they came out relatively easily. Grinded down the rust on the pistons, greased it up, put it back in, nice and smooth. I actually had a rounded file that I filed the hole where the pistons went. Just went right in there. Put some grease in there, packed it up, put it back on there. Now I can't do the adjustment because I can't tell if it works or not. So I'm going to drop it off the jack, see how it rolls, and then I could stick my hand in there and adjust the brakes. And I think I might have to adjust it because I don't think it's going to roll, because I think it's too tight right now. I was just going to adjust it. Alright, so look. Alright. So it rolls. Let's roll it and then put on the brake. Yeah! No adjustment needed. See? Rolls fine without putting on the brake. Then when you put on the brake, it stops. Awesome. So what I'm going to do now is kind of prep it for paint. I'm going to take those foot pads off and use that sander. Oscillating tool that my friend Samuel Sandoval gave me. As you can see, there's quite a bit of rust over here on this side, not so much on the other side. So we're gonna have to grind this down, especially this hood. The top of that hood had like a piece of sandpaper on it, you know, and I took it off because it would be hard to paint with the sandpaper on there, right? So this looks like hell over here, but the rest of it actually isn't too bad. The rest of the tractor doesn't even have that much rust to it, which is surprising. Only around the wheel well area here. Also, usually around the battery box, there's tons of rust. I mean, there's some around here, but not bad. So I've got my Black & Decker oscillating tool with the triangular sandpaper velcroed onto this setting, this attachment I mean. I'm just gonna grind this down and see what it looks like. Okay, so I used that oscillating tool and that grass scraper, and I went over the whole thing where the rust parts are. I took that quadrant panel off so I can get to the parts that were covered. The foot pad area, the hood. The rest of it's not terrible. I don't know what I'm going to do about this Craftsman sticker that's over there. I tried peeling it, but it looks like it's really sticky. I want to just paint right over it, you know. So I'm going to go drive this to the backyard and power wash the whole thing. And then in the bright sunlight, let it dry out.
So, today we power washed this thing, switched out 2 rear wheels so that they match the same width as the fronts. The fronts still look wider because the axle is wider than the rear transaxle. All 4 tires seem to hold air pretty well. If not, I'm going to put some ATF in there. And we also took off the brake calipers today and got the brakes working. I grinded down all the loose paint and rust from the tractor, and so our next step is going to decide exactly what I'm going to paint it. So I'm going to take the first and second place winners of last night's poll. Thank you very much for participating in the vote, especially the silent watchers. I know it's tough to get off the big screen and have to sign in on your mobile device to be able to comment, but I appreciate your efforts. Just want your participation, you know. You guys always watch, but you never comment. This gives you an opportunity to participate in the video. I like my videos to be very interactive, and that involves all the subscribers. I always answer every comment, as you guys know, whether a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Very rarely a thumbs down, but I'll always answer your questions. I've even helped some people who have problems with their lawn tractors and power equipment, that if I can throw in my 2 cents and steer you in the right direction, I'd be happy to help. But like I said, I'm not a mechanic. I'm just a flipper. But chances are I've probably done or worked on something that you've had trouble with recently. I'm going to throw in another kind of an interesting way that you guys could participate and have like a memorable part of this episode. So when we decide on whether or not it should be, and this is very descriptive, black, gloss black. The matted black is just not you want to put some shine into it, So whatever color we decide, I'm going to do it gloss. Wait. So black gloss, red sunrise wheels, rims, with white walls, right? Or all white, then white gloss, then red wheels with white walls, okay? Then tell me if you think that desert sand Humvee look would be right. I did some research on the camouflage paint kit. I don't need the green and the brown and the dark sand. I just want it like that Humvee, the desert sand Humvee, and I'm going to have like black letters with like the American flag in black, right? Like a Humvee. And then the wheels. I think the wheels, the rims will have to be desert sand also, and no white walls, because a Humvee doesn't have white walls. You know what I mean? So those three: black gloss with red rims and white walls, white gloss, red rims with white walls, or the desert sand look of a Humvee. Those are the three choices, and starting today, we're going to go with those top two choices and the out of the blue military theme to go with it. I've done camouflage before, right? So we're going to just do a desert sand thing if you guys choose me to do so. So here's the interesting part. The most expensive paint job out of those three would be the desert sand one, because I've looked at the desert sand, even if I could find the Rust-Oleum sand color, right? It's not gloss, it's matted, right? It's like $15 a can, and I know I'm going to need like 2 cans, right? So it's going to cost like $30 for that. Plus, I'm going to go through with it with some white or gray primer, which is going to cost about $6 too. Yeah, I should be able to coat the whole thing with one can, I think. So roughly $35–40 is what I'm going to need in paint. How are you guys going to have a memorable part of that participation? You guys could help me pay for the paint job by donating $1 or $2. If 20 of you guys donate $2, there it is right there. You know what I mean? I could paint the paint job completely with the funds that my subscribers have contributed to the project. In return, all the people that donate to the paint job, right? When you go to paypal.me/mowersandblowers, in the notes when you send the money, just write paint job, okay? Then I'll know that you're donating money to the paint job. At the end of the paint job, I'm going to write your name of all the people who participated in the paint job contribution. I'm going to write your name somewhere small, like in a design. Like if there was going to be a stripe down the middle, I would write your name all combined into a stripe. So it'd be a stripe consisting of the names of the people who contributed to the paint job. I think that's pretty cool. And then if I sell this thing, I don't know, the new owner can paint it himself, whatever, but I'll leave it on there. But that's kind of an interesting idea. I wonder how many of you guys will participate. Give it a try. Even $1. If 40 people donate $1, there it is right there. I'll be able to write 40 names down the side of the hood. That'd be pretty cool. Anyway, so that's our episode today. It's very interesting. We'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.
See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.